Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street Multivac video here for you guys today. It's been a few weeks since the last one. The last video, I think we went into a bit of a discussion about how I feel about Multivac in this current year that we've had with them. For those that are new to Multivac, also have questions about what's going on, of course, back in the very latter stages of December 2021. Can you believe that it was 9 months ago? This is crazy. We saw the changeover of CEO and arguably running of Multivac. And this is something that took a few months, to be honest, in terms of lack of communication, no direction. It seemed the team had disappeared, or indeed, was there even a team? Who knows? And you know, some of these projects can sometimes have like literally a handful of people, but they look like, because they have a nice website and information, that they're bigger. One thing's for sure that we'll talk about today, because I always get questions on the Multivac comments of the videos as to, you know, oh, it's been a few weeks, what do you feel now? And I feel a sense of not necessarily panic, but questioning around this project. Now, social media wise, and I think this is important to bring to people's attention, most projects, especially in a bear market, try and find different ways of communicating and engaging with their audiences. It's a really, really difficult time to encourage proper investment, if you know what I mean. And I think like everyone, including myself, is very cautious about how much we are putting in right now. Of course, you've got to understand that there's many things in the macro world events like price hikes of energy and fuel, etc., and still more to come for the rest of this year. So that's why we always go on about the DCAing, the dollar cost averaging, on our way down and up when we're investing. We'll go on to a bit more about that shortly in the actual chart analysis. But one thing's for sure with these kind of projects is, as an investor, whether I'm an existing investor or a long-term holder, of which with MTV I'm the long-term because I have invested a fair amount into this project. We're in a bear market. I'm at a loss with this project like I am with many others, which is part and parcel. We always try and buy in the lower regions as we are in this current period of time. But we also have to be cautious. You know, how much more do I want to be putting in? Do I want to still believe in the words of this project and what's coming? And right now, just a bit of an opinionation from the last video that I've done. I haven't really seen any significant developments. I haven't really seen any significant communications from Multivac. And as I said before, I do partially take this with a pinch of salt because some projects, as I said, may have limited resource. That's not an excuse. That doesn't mean that projects stop talking to their audiences. They stop communicating. They should be communicating more than ever, even if it's things relating to engagement and encouragement of what's to come. They bring out these monthly project reports, which are relatively okay to digest. It's better than what they did in the first 6 months, was pretty much nothing in terms of information coming out, but it's very thin. This is just a month's report, and I honestly would expect a bit more information from a project that is growing and looking for further and future investments, not just from the retail investors, but investors in general, but more importantly for their partners or potential partners. Now, this point in general links back to, first of all, their roadmap. I really wish they would tick off when they've done things, because to me, this just looks like a big list of stuff that they want to try and do throughout the year, or just things that might happen. Don't know the developments of any of these aspects. I don't really have a major amount of time to digest all of this and go, oh, well, have they done this? Have they done this? Have they done this? This is the job for them. Because as an investor, as a researcher, you have limited time. I have very limited time, like many of you out there, I'm sure, where I'm working in the Web3 space, in the gaming side of things, and it's constant, 24/7. There's very little time. That's why I have very little videos coming out at the moment, so apologies for that, but hopefully you have an understanding. But my point being, I mean, this is the ecosystem. The ecosystem to me is not what Multivac is about and what it can do. It's about the ecosystem of who's in the ecosystem. What is the ecosystem? And all I see at the moment is like NFT projects, elements of staking improvements and things like this, and continuation of development. But there was an element here: gamified metaverse operating on Multivac will go live soon. Now, this is going to be quite interesting for me. This specificity. Specificity? I've probably got that computer. I'll just call it specifically. This specifically for the blockchain will soon benefit Little Bits World, a gamified metaverse based on the Little Bits NFT collection. Now, again, it's very orientated around NFTs. We'll have to see how this game operates within Multivac. It's going to be very interesting because I think realistically, this is probably one of the first proper projects on Multivac. So I'm very interested to see how it operates and works. Will this be a defining moment for Multivac to push further? I think it needs more case studies. It needs more case studies in the sense of projects coming on board and for Multivac to showcase that it is working. Show us the statistics, show us the information, how much power you really have in this space. Because, they always boast, like many projects, even the big ones boast TPS, transactions per second, and I'll tell you now, many even of the big names out there cannot succeed with these numbers yet because they just go based on the algorithm of what they can achieve without all these projects on there. They just do running tests and perhaps not in the real world scenarios. It's like when I used to work in distribution and you'd have machines testing like how long a bag or a piece of material will last based on pulling and chucking about and this, that and the other, and it would last X amount of years, and that's how they put the lifespan or come to the conclusion of what a guarantee or a warranty should be based on what's their future outcome for this. And I think it's the same for this transactions per second, in the sense that they go for this incorporated mindset of like, oh, what do we think we can do? Well, this is based on the data of this, but they don't take into consideration that when this network hits capacities without scalability opportunities, they might struggle. So that's yet to be seen. I could probably see some interesting information on Multivac seeing this maybe over the next couple of years. I don't think this is something we're going to see any results of in the next 6 months to a year, because they need a hell of a lot more projects than what they've got right now to determine whether they are achieving what they set out to achieve. But of course, as I said, scalability is important. Multivac supposedly has the ability to upscale itself anyway, which a lot of projects can't do, or they utilize other projects or companies to come in to help with that. You look at like Harmony One, for example, and a few others being capable and able to do this. So for me with Multivac, I'm in the similar position as to where I was 3 weeks ago and have been for the last few months. I'm very cautious. I don't invest a lot of money into this right now. I put in small amounts per month, not necessarily when I get paid. It's more about the chart, which we'll go on to in a second, but I'm being cautious. I don't like the lack of communication. I don't like the lack of transparency in the sense, like I can't really find anything about team members on LinkedIn. I can't find anything about Multivac on LinkedIn. And this is a big go-to destination for me for research. I want to know who these people are, their backgrounds. Are they capable of doing what they say they will go to do? That's a small part of it, of course. There's a multitude of other aspects of research that you need to do for any project when you're investing for the first time, or indeed as you are as an existing investor. You have to be continuously researching and understanding what your money is doing and where is your money being utilized, or indeed how is it operating within these systems. So you have to think about all these things. But yeah, for me, it's still questionable. I'm literally investing really right now based on the information that's in front of me in terms of what they were looking out to achieve, and pretty much around what I've said before, what I see in front of me. And there is a risk to that. I mean, what we always want to see with projects is constant development and updates of developments as well. And like I said, these Multivac monthly reports are better than what they had before, but I'm still not really seeing enough to be majorly excited. We're in a bear market, we're in a winter market, totally understand. But there's many other projects out there that are in the same position, but they're doing a lot more. And this then comes back to the question of, what is this team of Multivac anymore? I don't know. I don't know how many people they've got on their team. If it's stretched thin, regardless, you still have to try and communicate the best you can. So I don't think it's dead in the water. I would just say to people, if they're looking to invest in Multivac or they're existing Multivac investors, is consider what your portfolio situation is with Multivac. If you're in a loss, there's an argument to say you could cut your losses, it might come down lower, but also for me personally, I'm like, well, I'm at a loss now, I'm going to have to just be patient and wait. Some investments are risks to the point where they just fail or they don't work out. That is part and parcel of being an investor, but you have to also be cautious along the way, as we've said. So there's a few bits of information and advice there in the sense of like my opinions. I wouldn't say it's like financial advice, it's just more what I'm doing and what I feel based on experiences of not just this project, but many others as well, and just generally the last few years of investing. So let us know in the comments below what you're thinking about Multivac right now. I know it's a bit of a weird situation with this project. Some people are getting agitated and impatient and not quite perhaps understanding of what's happening. So I'm really interested to know what people's feedback and information on what Multivac they're thinking inside their minds. It does help other people as well. So looking forward to reading those. Let's jump into the chart of Multivac as well. So this is quite interesting also because we haven't really seen major differences or changes in Multivac over the last few months. And we did reiterate in the last video around the analysis on the chart of Multivac that we're probably not going to see any significant moves on this project because of the lack of information and just where it is right now as a project and where we are in a market in general. So realistically, whether you're buying back in May or September now, it hasn't moved. It's very much testing again this red line on the fib retracement. It's one of the last penultimate ones, the lowest region back down here, but yet we still have not managed to get down to these levels. Now, it'd be quite interesting to see really if we do ever come back to these areas. At the moment, the lowest we've kind of been testing really is back down to these areas here at around 0.001. That's the lowest it's kind of been over the last few months. If we go back to the lowest points of Multivac in the longer term and we come back to one of our highest points most recently, you can clearly see that we're very much edging around these areas, regardless to whether you have it at one of the most recent times of a higher area or one of the biggest spikes back here in the 11th of August respectively. So the lowest points we are seeing, as I said, are testing these grounds at 0.001. To come down lower than that would be quite interesting. And it seems like for some reason, whether this is auto market making, what I mean by this is usually like bot systems or projects out there that utilize systems to keep trading going automatically in the background to help a project out, to stop it from dropping down. Because I do believe in my mind that if we drop significantly below this 0.001 area and it fails, then obviously we're looking at these lower regions anyway, and we could see a significant drop of Multivac. So for me, there's definitely some support mechanism here. Why? This is an area of interest for everyone anyway, but as I said, this AMM might be kicking in, the bots might be kicking in, who knows. But one thing's for sure to identify here is that something is going on around this area. We're at here, this point again, we've had some higher regions, they failed after say maybe a month's worth of trading and they keep coming back down. So in the long term, there is plenty of opportunity right now to be accumulating Multivac in big quantities. Some people ask, well, what's the target of Multivac? My area of target was around 1 million Multivac. I'm not quite there yet, but the reason I wanted that kind of number was to try and get one of the nodes, because they are 1 million MTV as far as I'm aware, and that is my target, as well as just a long-term investment in general anyway. So at this current price point, it is relatively simple and easier to get to these higher numbers in a quicker fashion. There will come a time, I'm hoping, where Multivac does develop itself a bit better and communicates a bit more. But once we're out of this bear market and it starts developing as a project, we will see these numbers turn around significantly, and we'll hopefully get the rewards that we are looking to try and get with this project, or what we thought we would be getting at the earlier stages with all the promises and the information that's been put out there. So that is where we are with Multivac. We're on a bit of a sell-off at the moment, as you can see here on the indicators, particularly on the levels of volume kicking out here. But they're not significant drops or intakes either. They're very much match for match across this March to April period. But since then, it's been relatively balanced and relatively low volumes in and out. So this is about day trading, really, people taking advantages of small incremental increases and decreases on a daily basis. Again, you're not going to see significant investment until Multivac turns around and says, hey, we've got loads of projects coming on, these are them. Oh, by the way, all this exciting stuff's coming as well in the next few months. We might see some significant moves up, but I don't think you're going to see that either until the whole market starts turning back around to the good sides. You see here on the performance indicators on the right side, the weekly, the monthly, and the 3 months, they're not bad, but they're still in the red. The 6 months is still down very, very significantly. As I said, it's going to take a few months with the macro world events well into 2023. Who knows, maybe a bit longer. I see this like as a 2017, 2018 area of a cycle, if you like. I don't think it's going to be happening for some time. So there is time on our side to accumulate, and that's the thing. You can research this project all you want. The information is what it is. It's a question of like, well, do I believe in what they say they're going to do? Fine, but also be cautious and risk assess your investment. That's all I can say about it. Is there's no right or wrong here. It's just you're going to get haters and you're going to get believers. It's about you as an individual to go, okay, well, this is the situation. Do I want to invest, but maybe not going too hard? Or am I a risk taker? I'm just going to go in there anyway because it's high risk and potential high reward. Who knows? So just be level-headed about it, guys. That's all I'm saying. Just be cautious. The RSIs here on the 14-day are very low. This is a good buy point for me personally. And on the 28-day as well, around that 40 mark. So this is a good area of manual purchasing for me. I don't have limit orders on this project anymore because it's kind of pointless. I'm not really fussed even if this drops another half of what it is today. I will be buying around these regions as long as it's still under 1 cent. That's all that I'm really bothered about, to be honest, and just accumulating as much as I can when I can, but with smaller amounts than I ever was before. So that's all I can say about this project, really. Like, I am disappointed still with the continuation of how it's operating in terms of communication, marketing, and all of this stuff. But some projects out there, like I said earlier, are risks, and some of them are ones where you go, okay, well, I can only go by what I see. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't work out, fine. Bit disappointing, obviously, but this is where you, as an investor, they always say, don't invest what you can afford to lose. That kind of thing, to make sure that you don't go overboard with it, and if it does fall apart, you haven't got any major financial concerns because of it. So you just got to be careful. That's very much wrapping up Multivac, guys. It's a really weird project, isn't it? As I said, let us know in the comments below what you think about this. Yeah, I'm still baffled, but I'm still holding in, and I'm not selling until I get into some kind of green. And then I'll make some extra decisions, and I'll always let you guys know along the way what I'm doing with Multivac and any of my other projects that I hold. So guys, thanks for watching. That is Multivac. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.